Olá, muito boa noite a todos. Em primeiro lugar, gostaria de agradecer a todos aí de novo por estar acompanhando mais essa live. Fiz um esforço enorme para trazer um super convidado para conversar, para fazer um bate-papo aqui com a gente, né? Eu vou pedir desculpas a vocês porque o menino não fala português, então o que eu vou fazer? Eu vou traduzir simultaneamente, logo depois que ele responder as perguntas de vocês, que vocês podem fazer pelo chat aqui. E aí a gente vai vendo como é que vai sendo feito. Tá bom? Bom, então eu vou... Só estou esperando o pessoal chegar. O convidado nosso de hoje é o Zach George. Ele é o autor do blog Points from the Pacific. Alguns de vocês já conhecem ele, porque viram ele no Instagram, nas redes sociais comigo. Então, foi difícil trazer o menino para cá, porque ele é muito, muito ocupado. Ele é bem conhecido na Austrália, acredito que seja o blogueiro australiano mais famoso que tem lá, né? Ele foi o primeiro a viajar na Etihad The Residence, foi entrevistado pelo Richard Quest na CNN. O garoto mais novo a viajar na The Residence. Bom, então, não vou atrasar mais, vou trazer o meu amigão aqui, vou trazer o Zach George, lá da Austrália, para vir falar com a gente. Hi, Zach.
Hi, I'm Zach from Points from the Pacific. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, my friend?
Very well, thank you. In sunny Brisbane, Australia.
It is sunny there. Very nice weather. O Zach está falando com a gente diretamente de Brisbane, na terra da rainha, Queensland. São 10 horas da manhã agora lá e ele cedeu um pouquinho do tempo dele para conversar com a gente. E se vocês quiserem, fique à vontade para fazer pergunta aí. Zach, I'm going to ask you for you to introduce yourself. Tell how old are you? How did you begin this thing with miles, points, and travel? Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So I'm now 20, but I started doing this when I was about 15. Basically, I always enjoyed traveling and always wanted to travel in premium products, but being young, it's very difficult. So frequent flyer points were the best way to be able to afford that without having to pay cash prices. Back then too, this was, let's say, 5 years ago, a lot more value in the frequent flyer point programs, but as time goes on, we still have to adjust to it and still find better ways to beat the airlines at their own game.
Yeah, I agree.
But I've been blogging for a few years now on and off.
Can I just interrupt you for a second? I'm going to translate something, then you keep on, okay?
Yeah.
So people won't lose the end. Então, pessoal, só para vou interromper ele rapidinho aqui para traduzir rapidinho. Ele começou isso com 15 anos de idade, hoje ele está com 20 anos. E ele sempre quis voar nas cabines premium das companhias aéreas. E por causa disso, ele começou a usar programas de fidelidade, milhas e pontos para fazer isso. E hoje ele fala que ele investe nisso, ele escreve para o blog Points from the Pacific e está tentando vencer as companhias aéreas no próprio jogo delas, na questão de milhas e pontos. Go ahead, Zach. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's all right. So I've been blogging on and off for a few years now. Obviously, during those years, there's been a few things that have made me not be able to do it as much as I've wanted to. But that will be resuming again very shortly. I've got a few things planned for the blog. And as soon as COVID's over and everything resumes, a lot more travel, which I'm begging to do. And can't wait to get back in the air.
Before we start on the questions, I'd like to thank you very much for your time, for talking to us here. I know you're very busy there in Australia. You're probably the most prominent blogger there in Australia. And it's an honor to have you here with me, as always. And I miss you, buddy. You know that. Last time we see each other was what? October last year, Singapore, right?
I think that's audio. Actually. So I think the audio cut out.
Okay, all right, I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. Audio.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Zach, can you hear me? Tô no problema técnico aí com a Austrália. Espera aí, rapidinho. Vamos ver se a gente faz isso. Hey, Zach, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Parece que o áudio não está funcionando. Vou pedir desculpas aí para vocês. Can you hear me, Zach? Hello? Vou pedir desculpas para vocês, tem problemas técnicos aí de som. Ele vai fazer o logout e vai fazer o login de novo. Só estou aguardando ele voltar. Peço desculpas aí, né? Mas é uma live transcontinental, digamos assim. Ele está lá na Ásia, no Pacífico, na Austrália, na terra da rainha Queensland, em Brisbane. Não, Bruno, o áudio dele estava no mudo, mas ele não estava escutando. O problema era que ele não estava escutando. Entendeu? Ele não estava escutando, o áudio não estava chegando lá com ele. Eu só estou esperando ele reconectar. Ele provavelmente está reconectando lá o sisteminha dele lá. Ó. Tá voltando, vai voltar. Hello, Zach. Can you hear me now?
Technology. Gotta love it.
Okay. No worries. We're waiting for you.
Perfect.
You're like a celebrity.
What would you like to know?
Ok, vou pedir pro pessoal para fazer as perguntas aí no chat. I'm just waiting for them to make questions for you, so
Yep.
I can ask you. In the meantime, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I think you still are the youngest person who flew the residence. Is that, or someone broke your record? Do you have any knowledge of that?
I definitely think someone's broken that now. That was definitely still one of the most expensive things I've ever bought, which took a long time to save up for at that age. And I actually was working 2 full-time jobs and a 3rd part-time job just to afford it. Probably not a great investment at all, but it was a unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I will say. Definitely.
O Zach falou para mim aqui que ele realmente foi a pessoa mais jovem a voar na The Residence. Ninguém quebrou o recorde dele ainda. Essa passagem foi uma passagem paga que ele usou trabalhando duplamente lá na Austrália, lá paga bem, né? E ele conseguiu fazer isso, gastou bastante dinheiro, mas foi uma experiência muito boa. Olha, Zach, my very good friend here is asking, what's your frequent destination and how many times have you been in Brazil? It's the first question for you.
My most frequent destination would definitely have to be Sydney. It's only an hour away.
That doesn't count. Out of Australia.
Internationally, I would say would have to be Abu Dhabi. Or probably the US as well. I've done a lot of travel to the United States. And I haven't been to Brazil yet. That is very, very, very high up on the list of places I would have to visit.
That's your dad with me.
What was that, sorry?
Your dad with me. You have a dad with me.
Yes, I do. Well, I was supposed to be there 3 times, and every time something has come up.
I know.
I think last
the lack of invitation.
Last time was I was in Dubai. I was supposed to come over and then got sick.
That's right.
I couldn't get the yellow fever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. COVID.
We're still waiting for you here.
Once that COVID is done and finished, I'll be straight there.
Ok, I'm going to translate to them. Então, o Zach falou que o destino mais frequente dele internacional é Abu Dhabi. Ele nunca esteve no Brasil, embora eu já tenha convidado ele várias vezes para cá. A última vez ele estava em Dubai. Ele iria vir ao Brasil, mas ele foi pego pela yellow fever, pela febre amarela, e não pôde vir. Okay, next question. Bruno is asking for you, what are the top 5 business class you've ever traveled?
Ooh, that's a good question. For me, it would have to be Qatar on top, for sure. And then, this is a really difficult one.
I don't think that's that difficult. I think Key Sweets is probably one of the top 5.
Is still definitely number 1 for me. I'd still have Cathay in there. They're still a consistent product. Virgin Australia still offers a very consistent product, I would find, to the United States. Even on their coast to coast on the A330 is very nice. I haven't flown Delta Suites yet. I do want to fly them and try them, or ANA's business class, the new one.
I was about to ask you about the ANA,
but I've heard that. Yeah,
I've heard
só
that
one is pretty incredible.
Rapidinho, para ele as melhores suítes é Q Suites, a Virgin Austrália, a Ana, que ele não voa ainda, mas ele quer voar muito e quer também experimentar a Delta, a suíte da Delta. They're asking you if you made any status room in any company ever. I think so, right?
I have, yes. I've done a few Qantas ones back in the day. I did a lot of that on Qantas themselves, and then also a lot on American Airlines in the United States, taking advantage of when American used to code the flights. You'd get first class status credits with Qantas as a first ticket instead of a business class ticket. So it'd really, really add up quickly. But unfortunately, like most programs, changes come and wipe that out. But not in the past 2 or 3 years, not at all. I just don't find that especially with our programs here, there's not as much value anymore. Virgin Australia status, I can easily retain just naturally traveling on them, whereas Qantas, I found with Platinum and more, Platinum 1, you'd have to go higher and a lot more flying and a lot more spending where it wouldn't make sense to really hold the status. So really evaluating what's worth it nowadays instead of taking advantage of a heap of flights and trying to do it.
Today, what's your main program today?
I would say both Qantas and Virgin. As bad as for domestic redemptions. For international, Alaska is my program. I love Alaska.
Ok, so just translate it to them. Então, só para falar aqui, a pergunta foi se ele já tinha feito algum status run. Ele falou que sim, antes dos últimos 3 anos, porque nos últimos 3 anos não tem tido muito valor fazer status run, porque é com base no gasto. O programa principal dele para resgate internacional é o da Alaska Airlines, que realmente é muito bom, e o doméstico é o da Virgin Australia e o da Qantas. Okay, Zach, next question. Oh, this is a very good question I have here. If you're planning to go to Freddie Awards this year, I was.
Yes, I was, 100%.
Will I see you next year there, St. Louis?
100%.
Oh, actually, it's New Orleans, not St. Louis.
And I will be 21 next year too.
Oh, so drinks.
Yes, I can legally have drinks.
Finally. But you can legally drink in Australia, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 19 there.
Our drinking age is 18, yeah.
Oh, it's 18 there.
18, yeah.
Yeah, I think Canada is 19 and United States is 21.
Yeah. That's
so
correct.
Next year will be your first Freddie Awards, 21 years old. Oh,
that
should be a nice Freddie Award.
I'm excited. I've only been to one before, so I'm definitely excited to.
In New York, I remember I was there.
I was a lot younger then too. So
I know.
a bit more, be able to meet a lot more people, which will be really
There
good.
is a video of our interview. I'm gonna put in here in the
I do
cards.
remember doing that interview, yes.
Yeah, you just had flown Etihad first class.
I had a lot chubbier cheeks back then too.
Ok. Então, só para falar, o Zach, ele iria participar do Fred Awards esse ano. Infelizmente, por causa do problema da pandemia, ele teve que abortar os planos, assim como eu. Também estaria lá esse ano. Encontraria com ele lá, mas ano que vem vai ser... O Fred Awards também vai continuar sendo em Nova Orleans, em Louisiana. Caso até lá já esteja tudo resolvido, esperamos que esteja, será o primeiro Fred Awards do Zach com 21 anos de idade. E ele vai poder beber à vontade. Vai ficar bêbado lá no Fred Awards. Let's see the next question. Oh, they're asking how is the flights there in Australia? If you're having difficulties or if everything is coming back.
So for us, in the past few days, our states have slowly started to open up travel within the state. So I live in Queensland, so I'm now able to travel anywhere within Queensland without any issue. Before, it was usually restricted to 150 or 250 kilometers, and if you went beyond that, you'd often get a fine of around $1,400. However, now our cases have gone to zero. We've had no active cases in the past few days. But traveling to different states is a little bit harder. If you're traveling for business and you have an exemption, it's fine. But if you're just doing it for leisure travel, it's a little bit more difficult. And international travel is still not a no-go at the moment.
Ok, então, só para responder aí, a Austrália ainda está travada, você só está podendo viajar dentro do estado, como ele é de Queensland, ele só pode viajar dentro de Queensland, mas Queensland é um estado bem grande. Aí ele pode ir para Cairns, para Hamilton, para qualquer lugar aí, dentro de Queensland, Brisbane, e por aí vai. Se ele viajar para fora de Queensland, no caso para New South Wales, ele vai ter que pagar uma multa muito pesada de $1.400 australianos. E ainda não está aberto internacionalmente. Zach, now I have a question for you. When do you think we will be able to lift the restrictions? Do you have any opinion on it? I think the latest should be like August 31st, September 1st. I don't think it should last after September this year. What do you think about it?
I think for us, I'd say for us it'll be quite soon. We haven't had a lot of activity at all really with COVID recently. A lot of things are relaxed and starting to open again. If you actually go out on the street and go to a shopping centre here, it's like nothing has even happened. No one's wearing masks. Going into stores at shopping centres, you have to wear a mask, but that's it. Walking around in the common areas and everywhere else, you wouldn't think that COVID has actually affected our country.
But I'm gonna be frank with you. Before they painted a catastrophic scenario, but looking at the numbers worldwide, this pandemic, it's just like small focus of. It's like here in Brazil, we have a mosquito that transmits called dengue. It's 4 times more than the COVID numbers. So yeah. I think there's a little bit of catastrophic. I don't know if it's the same thing in Australia.
It's definitely to the media overhyping it and overplaying it, the same thing. As soon as different things are played in the media and that starts to get pushed out, really no one's talking about COVID, or it's not even displayed really on TV much here anymore at all. It's really interesting how quickly it was such a massive topic, and then all of a sudden it's really come down and everyone's saying they need to get rid of all these dumb restrictions that shouldn't have happened anyway. And yeah, it's really interesting to hear what people are saying about it.
Of course. Só para dar uma noção aqui, uma passada, a gente está falando sobre a questão do Covid. Lá na Austrália, o Zé está me falando que é business as usual, não mudou nada, que você só tem que botar máscara para ir no shopping, mas ninguém está usando máscara efetivamente. Até porque já não tem mais nada lá na Austrália de casos ativos. E ele acha que a mídia, assim como eu também, está fazendo um terrorismo exacerbado em cima dessa situação pandêmica. E está sendo muito mal conduzido pelo OMS, vergonhosamente. Zach, my best friend here in Brazil is asking you, what's the destination that you would like to go that you don't know yet, that you've never been before?
I'd say still Maldives or Bora Bora, as cliche as that sounds. I did have a trip planned there quite recently. However, some unfortunate events didn't quite permit that trip happening, but another time in the future. But I'd also like to go and explore more of the Middle East, especially Muscat.
I've been there. And I want to go back to the Maldives. I've saved like 400,000 Marriott points for that. You know for what?
Excellent.
For the St. Regis.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the restrictions to be lifted off so I can go.
Yeah. It's so annoying because I was just before COVID happened too. I had sat down and planned a heap of trips. I had a lot.
I have 5 international trips all over the world. I was supposed to be in Perth right now. Do you remember that? I told you.
Yeah.
To test the Ritz-Carlton in Perth. I was supposed to be there today in Perth.
It's such a pain. It's really fun the whole year around.
Só para passar para vocês, eu estou falando com o Zach aqui que o Covid atrapalhou bastante a gente. Eu, por exemplo, tinha 5 viagens internacionais programadas, era para eu estar em Perth agora, no Ritz-Carlton, inclusive ele estaria comigo lá. E ele, respondendo a pergunta do Vinícius, ele gostaria muito, Vinícius, de ir para as Maldivas e para Bora Bora. São 2 destinos que ele não esteve ainda, que ele gostaria de ir, que também estava planejado, e por causa do Covid ele não pôde ir. Vamos ver, let's see the next question here, Zach. They are my other brother. He's asking if you are used to visit a lot of countries, and if you have a count, how many countries have you visited so far?
I actually haven't counted recently, but I think it's around 20 or so.
20? I thought it was more.
15 or 20. Yeah, it's actually not that many. It's because of a lot of my travel is to the same place, usually for work. And for
you have to come to Brazil.
Yes. This year was going to be my year of exploring new countries. And, well, I'll have to reevaluate that one.
I don't think this year will be a good for you to come.
Coming next year.
Yeah, definitely next year.
Yeah.
Assim. Então, voltando, ele já visitou 20 países. Assim, ele costuma ir bastante para os mesmos lugares, por isso que ele não tem uma contagem de país tão grande. Mas ele viaja bastante. Bruno is asking you, Zach, what's the most beautiful beach that you have ever been there in Australia?
Oh, I would have to say.
You're not like a beach person, right?
Well, I'm very pale at the moment, so not at the moment. I'd have to say Whitehaven.
Have you been to Whitehaven?
I haven't. That's the sad part. Is now that our state's open, I'm going to plan a trip up there.
You should go there. Do you have IHG points?
Yes, and I also
go
have
to the Intercontinental Hamman Island.
Yeah, definitely. After seeing your photos there, I was very.
I was there, yeah. You missed me in Sydney.
Yes,
January.
That's right.
Então, Bruno, Whitehaven é a praia que o Zach recomendou. Henrique, one of our readers is asking you if you have any foreseeable, just to know when New Zealand's gonna open its borders, if you have any knowledge about it.
I think they will be before us opening their borders, but I would say around September, October.
Eu, Henrique, então provavelmente setembro, outubro. Go ahead, Zach. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd say around September, October. The Australian government's trying to push for a travel bubble, but the New Zealand government's not as keen yet. So, yeah, it's really a matter of time and what they decide. But hopefully September is what they're aiming for.
Provavelmente setembro, então, vai ser a abertura da Nova Zelândia. Zach, my very good brother here is asking you, a question that only you can answer. What's the best way to get to know all countries in the Pacific?
That's a good
There
one.
aren't many.
We don't have too many countries, but we do have a few unique ones around us.
We have Fiji.
Yeah.
Vanuatu,
Guinea,
Solomon Island.
Yes. I've got it.
Australia, New Zealand.
Just before COVID happened too, I booked a whole trip around the Pacific. I'd booked Air New Guinea, Air Nauru, Air Solomons, but obviously had to cancel all that, but we'll be redoing it again. Our airlines in the Pacific have some really, really interesting products and really unique things too. Air New Guinea has a 767 and their business is 212, which is just very unique. They also have a 737 with flatbed seats in their business class. So just kind of weird things as well. And also cool places like Kiribati, which will be one of the first country to go underwater. So it's somewhere I want to visit very soon.
Ok, então o Zé que falou que ele acha que as companhias aéreas australianas são muito boas para isso. Ele quer viajar na Air Nova Guiné, né? Que tem uma configuração de classe executiva muito boa. A Qantas e a Fiji Airways também atende bastante a questão toda. Henrique is thanking you for letting him know about your perception on because he has a trip scheduled for December to visit the Pacific. So he hopes until then everything's open. There's a fan of you here. He's asking if you're single, if you have a girlfriend. What's your current status?
I did have a girlfriend, but unfortunately it ended not in the best.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry to hear that.
Still,
you're gonna find another one. Don't worry about it.
For the next few years, I'll be concentrating on work and just building myself up with my companies. So that's my main goal.
Então, perguntaram aí se o Zé era solteiro, casado. Ele falou que ele tá solteiro no momento, que ele terminou com a namorada, mas agora ele vai se jogar no trabalho, porque ele não teve um término muito bom. Vamos ver a próxima. I don't think you've heard, but Latam got into the chapter 11, and Bruno is asking you what's your opinion on it. If you think that Latam will get over chapter 11, what's your opinion on it?
It came with quite of a shock, I guess. Not really a massive shock, but I guess quite sudden news too, I guess, with Delta partnering with them recently as well. So I'm not too sure about the whole situation, so I can't really comment too much, but I hope they pull through.
Então, o Bruno, ele falou que ele acredita que sim. Now, Zach, there is a very good question here. It's a very interesting question. My best friend asked it. He's asking you if your parents always support you since you began very young. Like, did they encourage you to pursue your dream, like work with aviation, something like that? I think that's a very good question. So
they always have supported me in doing my own thing. I've always been someone that hated being told something on like a board at school and you're expected to learn that. I'm not someone like that. I'm a physical, hands-on learner. And being in school, being told this and learning about stuff that made no interest to me or didn't benefit me in any way, I wasn't going to listen. So I decided to learn my own thing and learn about frequent flyer points and travel. And by traveling, I learned things outside of school which I couldn't learn, and being in the real world as well, learn things that school wouldn't teach me. That my parents have always been very supportive in that way, in saying you need to follow what you want to do and invest in yourself, pretty much. I've always been someone that's liked finding loopholes and like doing something differently, so the entrepreneurial mindset has always been there. But yes, they've always been pushing and saying you need to do what you want to do instead of following everyone else. And that's why I got into travel at a young age and wanted to do something different from everyone else my age. And then from that, use points from the Pacific to learn about companies and how to run a business and start other side ventures as well, which have continued to help fund the travel.
Ok, então, respondendo, Vinícius, muito boa sua pergunta. O Zeke acabou de falar que os pais dele sempre apoiaram ele. Ele é uma pessoa que ele não se dava muito bem na escola, porque não é o tipo de pessoa que gosta de aprender aquilo que é imposto a você como ensinamento. Ele preferiu aprender saindo para o mundo, viajando, e ele falou que ele aprendeu muito mais viajando do que estando na escola. E isso acabou fazendo com que ele hoje ele é um empresário na Austrália, ele tem duas empresas, tem o Points from the Pacific, tem uma empresa que ele está abrindo de consultoria nas próximas semanas e que alavancou, de certa forma, a carreira dele. E os pais dele sempre apoiaram, né? They're asking how old are you, but you already said that, 20 years old. What's your favorite American airline?
I'd have to say Delta.
Delta, really? I was expecting another one, but ok, Delta it is. Então, a melhor companhia aérea, a companhia preferida aérea dele é a Delta. There's a very, very good... Go ahead, sorry.
Another thing I was going to say is I actually have never had a bad experience on American. Like, I haven't had a cancelled flight, an equipment swap, a change of seat. I don't know how on earth I have escaped it all, but somehow have not had one bad thing.
You are very lucky. Very, very lucky. Because all my flights, all of them, I think it's almost 100%. I had either a schedule change or a mechanical swap or a delay or a cancellation. Something ever happened to me. Never had no problems with American. But there's a very good question here. I almost forgot this. Bruno is asking you, what's the best credit card that you use there in Australia, and what are the main benefits of it? Because everybody that talks to me about credit cards, I tell them that it's always good to have an American credit card, like an American Express, the Platinum card. But if you go to think, the Australian credit card is much better because of the rate, so you get more points.
Yes,
right?
so we get,
and they also give you more points.
Yes, we get our sign-up bonuses are usually very large. Usually starting at 100 and usually going up for the top cards. So often you'll see 100, 125, and even sometimes the Platinum will go up to 150,000 points just for signing up. And then they earn a good amount, 3 points at restaurants, 2 it's when you go and fuel up, and 2.25 everywhere else. And then you've also got other cards. So your Explorer, the Platinum Edge, you can earn up to 4 points a dollar at supermarkets with that one, which is really good. And also they got 9 transfer partners as well. So for us, American Express are definitely the one card to have. I wish we had more banks that offered better cards, but our banks seriously offer some not the best valued cards. They may have a good sign-up bonus, but in the end, you look through the benefits and the earn rates, and you're not getting good value.
And what's the card that you use today, your main card?
My main one would be my Platinum Edge, definitely. I do have a Platinum as well, but I tend not to use it as much. Usually when I travel or if I go out for meals or with clients or going with friends, that's the card I'll use, but usually every day to day, either on the Explorer or Platinum Edge.
Ok, então só falando, Bruno, ele tem o Explorer e o Platinum Edge da American Express lá, né? Que paga bastante pontos por qualquer coisa. E é interessante notar que os pontos que eles pagam lá é com base no dólar australiano e não no dólar americano. Então lá eles conseguem fazer muito mais pontos do que a gente até mesmo aqui no Brasil, porque você vê, o dólar americano hoje está quase R$5, o dólar australiano está R$3,40. Então é mais fácil você acumular pontos com cartão australiano do que com cartão americano. There's another very good question here. If you use any Australian website to keep track of chance flights, like opportunities for web fairs, And which site you use to search for like airfare?
For airfares, I usually just tend to look on Flyer Talk. I like for mistake fares and things like that. Also, all the boarding area blogs do have a fantastic
They do.
way of getting them out very quickly. So those guys cover it very well. But there's a great amount of resources on Twitter as well. A lot of people.
Yeah, but the question was for which website do you use for search and book?
Oh,
like for example, Expedia or to
Google Flights.
Sorry.
Google Flights.
Google Flights.
Yep.
So Google Flights is your main resource. Então, Bruno, respondendo a sua pergunta, ele usa o Google Flights. Lá na Austrália não tem nenhum site de passagem de oportunidade.
Occasionally do searches on ITA Matrix, but when I'm booking, always Google Flights.
Sempre o Google Flights, então. They're also asking you, what's the best meal that you had on board, if you could remember?
Oh, I actually had some amazing food on Eva Air not long ago.
Eva Air.
It blew my mind, and this was in business, and
which was
it
the
was
course?
better. It was way better than meals I had in first on other carriers.
Which was the meal?
It was a duck dish, and then it was a dessert, which was like a hazelnut type of cake thing. It was insane.
Good. Então, Bruno, só para falar, a melhor refeição que ele teve foi na Eva Air, na classe executiva. Ele comeu um pato, qual prato de pato, não sei, e com uma sobremesa de hazelnut. Esqueci como é que se fala, acho que é avelã. People are saying good day, mate, here aqui. It's typical Australian. How do you say it?
We say good day.
Good day. So they are also asking, but this is, I don't think it's for now. They want to see your house there. Are you in Kangaroo Point right now?
No, I moved. So
you moved?
Point, yeah.
So you're still in Brisbane, right?
Still in Brisbane, but I'll be moving
Where
again.
in Brisbane?
I'm on the north of Brisbane now.
So okay, north of Brisbane.
Yeah. But
I miss Brisbane.
I was planning to head to the US at some point when everything is calmed down. One of my business partners is located in Los Angeles, so there may be a very big possibility of moving to the US in the future.
LA?
Yeah.
I'll be visiting you then. Love
Definitely.
LA. Zach, thank you very much. Oh, there's one more question here. I think that's the last one. In your opinion, Henrique is asking, what's the best sweet spot with Qantas program? Which is the best, in your opinion, redemption with the Qantas frequent flyer program?
I would say now for us, it would have to be for upgrades. Unfortunately, there used to be there was good value using for Emirates, but now that's been adjusted. You can also get some pretty good value using your points on Pacific flights as well. I've seen times where you can use 10,000 points and save $800 to $1,000 just on an economy ticket on one of the Pacific Islands. There's also some value in using it on Fiji Airways. But yes, it's going to be interesting because I think there'll be a lot of changes coming again.
Again?
Well, it's going to be interesting because the Emirates adjustments weren't expected.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't think really no one has said anything good about it. There's nothing really to say good.
Do you think it's going to get better?
I don't know if it'll get better. It'll take a long time before we'll see some improvements, but I think we'll start to see a lot more promotions at the start and try to get people to gain trust again and to fly and to continue getting the status, because a lot of people will be losing their status right now, and a lot of people just not even want to retain it and just not
I
want to
know.
travel.
I have a lot of Qantas points.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, I should actually do. I've got an update my post on the best uses of points. I'll have to do an update.
Do it, because we read your blog, and it's very important for us too, because Qantas is now an American Express transfer partner, so we can send points there.
Yes, definitely. I didn't know it was in over there. That's interesting.
It is.
Okay.
Então, Henrique, só falando, um dos melhores resgates da Qantas, na opinião do Zach, é a da Emirates, né? Realmente, a Emirates tem bastante resgates muito bons, e só que teve um ajuste agora, o que meio que ficou ruim ainda. Mas ele falou que você pode fazer resgate para ilhas do Pacífico, ali perto da Austrália, que às vezes uma passagem custa $800, mas é 5.000 pontos na Qantas, então vale muito a pena. Ele também usa bastante para upgrades. What's your next trip? As soon as you can fly. Any planned trips?
I don't have any planned at the moment, but I'll probably have to be in Sydney or Melbourne quite soon for work.
No, internationally.
Internationally, I haven't got anything planned at the moment, as I had to pull everything, but I would like to go. Our first stop will be the United States and down into Brazil.
Okay, I think Henrique didn't understand your answer, because he's asking if there's going to be a devaluation in the Emirates redemption. Actually, it's the opposite, correct?
With the change?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're adjusting it. I actually didn't see it fully. Are they adjusting it for the worse? By much? Because I saw a brief pop up, but I haven't had a look fully into it yet.
Então, Henrique, ele está falando que a Emirates já teve um ajuste ruim, mas que com esse negócio do Covid todo vai ser melhorado, entendeu? Não vai ser piorado, não. Parece que vai melhorar um pouco com promoções. They are also asking, what's your main hotel program when you travel?
Marriott. As bad
Marriott.
as that.
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. For example, I'm a participant of all the hotel programs. I prefer the Hyatt, but Hyatt properties are very expensive, so I use IHG. But when there is right now, I'm Titanium with Marriott.
Yeah.
But when there is they are similar fares, I prefer the Marriott properties.
See, for us too, there's a lot more Marriott properties, whereas Hyatt.
I know. Last time I was there, I stayed at the Westin. Remember?
Yeah, the Westin here, we have the Westin, the W in Brisbane are amazing hotels.
I stayed in both of them on your recommendation. Last year, before last year, and then the Westin.
Yeah, and then we're having a Hyatt place that will be here in 2023.
Hyatt place?
Yeah.
I would prefer like a Park Hyatt or a Grand Hyatt, not a Hyatt place.
Hyatt would fit very well. I think it would do very well here. We could also do with a Sheraton, but
yeah, Sheraton would be very good too. I miss Brisbane. I really need to go there.
You'll have to come visit.
I will. But you need to come visit me first.
Definitely.
Zach, thank you so much. I think we're done here with questions. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that.
Not a problem at all. Thank you for having me.
And please don't stop writing points from the Pacific, because we too take advantage of that, like the sweet spots in Qantas points, or Virgin Australia, which is a very good program too. Like you said, the Velocity, right? Velocity.
Yeah, Velocity. Some really good sweet spots in that program, and a lot of people just haven't.
Are we still able to send Velocity points to Singapore, or no?
Not at the moment.
Oh, they closed that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice loophole there.
And it used to be the transfer used to be 1 to 1.35. Now it's 1.55. But back then it was.
Bruno's asking if you know any words in Portuguese.
I don't, unfortunately. So I'm shocking with other languages. I do need to learn some though.
You do.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot to me. So how come you don't know anything in Portuguese? I remember that I taught you some words when we went to the Brazilian restaurant there in Brisbane. You don't remember that?
There's so much that's happened since then.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. When you come to Brazil, you're probably gonna learn something.
By the time I get to Brazil, I'll be able to say a full sentence.
I don't. Yeah, you have me here, so don't worry about it.
Excellent. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the time, Zach. Thank you very much.
Cool. It was lovely to chat
Have
to you.
a good day there in sunny Brisbane.
Thank you very much. I'll hopefully see you soon.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bom, esse foi a nossa live com o Zach. Agradeço vocês aí por terem acompanhado. Muito obrigado e uma boa noite aí para vocês aí.